With security, the Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, has handed over 20 medical students of the universities of Maiduguri and Jos recently rescued by security forces in Benue State to their school authorities. The victims spent 8 days in captivity, Siphon Essien reports.
It's barely 3 days of freedom for these medical students of the universities of Maiduguri and Jos after spending 8 days in captivity. They were rescued by security forces led by the police following an operation in a forest in Benue State.
During the operation, our officers engaged the kidnappers in a well-coordinated tactical offensive. I am pleased to inform you that the kingpin of this notorious gang was neutralized during an exchange of fire with our operatives, while 2 other members of the gang were arrested and their weapons recovered. These individuals are currently in our custody, where they are providing valuable information that will help us dismantle their criminal network.
7 other kidnapped victims also regained freedom.
Other passengers, 5 of them, and 2 other victims who had previously fallen victim to these heinous criminals were also freed.
The kidnapped victims are glad to have regained freedom, so advised chancellors of their universities.
Majority of us, when this thing happened, we weren't quite sure what was going to happen. But we took the plunge immediately as a university, reported to all the security agencies, and they took everything possible. They made everything possible. I must IGP commend, your men who worked under very, very difficult circumstances, very difficult terrain, to be able to rescue these our students. I also want to use this opportunity to appreciate and thank all Nigerians, because indeed all Nigerians have been praying.
We are really happy that we have a police force that is capable of performing this miracle, because I'm sure most people were pessimistic at the beginning, but people were praying. So I would like to, first of all, sincerely thank the President of this country, His Excellency, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu.
This brings closure to an incident that put the country on edge. Siphon Essien, TVC News, Abuja.
The Nigerian Air Force has killed several terrorists following airstrikes on the Malum Forest in Kaduna State and in Zamfara State. In a statement by the Director of Public Relations and Information, Air Vice Marshal Edward Gapquet, the operation was carried out by the air component of Operation Whirl Punch. Air Vice Marshal Gapquet explained that intelligence revealed the terrorists relocated from Alawa Forest in Niger State after their operation in Igabi local government to Kaduna State. He also mentioned that air operations also took place in the Niger Delta region, with patrols conducted by the air component of Operation Delta Safe in Imo State and in Rivers State. The military operation led to the destruction of more than 25 illegal refining sites and overhead tanks. Still talking security, the Department of State Services has released a journalist, Adejunwo Soyinka, who was picked up at the Murtala Mohammed International Airport in Lagos earlier today. There is no further information about the reason for his arrest, but Mr. Soyinka confirmed to TVC News that his passport was seized by the DSS. Adejunwo Soyinka was arrested around 5 a.m. upon arrival to Nigeria from the United Kingdom. A chieftain of the People's Democratic Party, Bode George, says his refusal to serve on the disciplinary committee set up by the party is because of the structure and leanings of the committee, which he believes is not just. Mr. Bode George, who spoke on TVC News program Politics on Sunday, said the PDP must be just and fair in its plans to reconcile aggrieved members of the party. The PDP chieftain also called for a proper committee to investigate the grievances in the party.
Look at the structure. The chairman is from one side. The secretary is from the same side. Political leanings are the same. If you want to be fair, you must balance up. Let us come back, do a post-mortem analysis of the last election. What sent us to why did we lose the election? Simplicity. By the time you were rezoning, you had already zoned the party positions. You say, oh, we forgot of zoning the elective positions. Problem. That one is a problem. If you have that kind of thing in an organization, what do? If you don't want to scatter the organization, you call for a meeting, a proper committee to investigate what has led to that.
A senior advocate of Nigeria, Femi Falana, has asked the Nigerians to hold leaders accountable in the delivery of their constituency project. Mr. Falana was speaking at a leadership summit in Lagos. Emmanuel Ajayi has details in this report.
It was a gathering of human rights activists, labor leaders, lawyers at the leadership summit in Lagos State with the theme, Dignity, Freedom and Justice. For the senior advocate of Nigeria, Femi Falana, he believes for a country to thrive in true freedom and justice.
To operate, to survive, it's 70,000.
The funds for constituency projects from lawmakers in the country should be utilized to better the lives of citizens and to develop the grassroots.
What I'm asking Nigerians to do is that they must demand from the legislators at Abuja and in all the states, where are the projects? Can we sit down? Because there is provision. Money is allocated for constituency meetings. So meetings should be held to discuss and debate the projects that are going to be executed. Because very soon, another budget is going to be presented by the president.
On the recent invitation of the president of the Nigerian Labour Congress, Joe Ajero, the chairman, Nigerian Labour Congress, Lagos State Chapter, is confident that the Labour leader will turn himself in on the 29th of August to answer some allegations.
He's a Nigerian, and Ajero, by our lawyer, senior advocate of Nigeria, Femi Falana, we have responded that on the 29th, we will be there together. On
the role leaders play in shaping the lives of youth for greater future, the former Commissioner for Education in Lagos State calls for appropriate measures in training and developing the young ones for good morals and uprightness.
There are many considerations before you decide what you are going to do, but the main thing is that you ensure that the children are aware that they will face the consequences of whatever they do.
Organizer and participants at the event called on the government to be more attentive to the yearnings of the people.
And my candid advice or counsel to these current governments is to be empathy.
As Nigerians continue to yearn for good governance, stakeholders at this leadership summit have tasked the federal government, state and local governments to be accountable to the people for proper delivery of dividends of democracy. Emmanuel Ajayi, TVC News, Lagos.